Obviously, this video will include spoilers, so continue watching only if you are okay having everything spoiled. This was originally just going to be the implications, but man, this is the weakest story in a Xeno game, with large plot holes and dangling questions that the DLC raised. A Xenosaga reference isn't enough to save this. Questions that are unlikely to ever get answered. It really feels like they just wanted to do a big fan service DLC and didn't think about or have time to smooth out the edges. Let's hit all the huge questions that weren't answered and probably never will be. Why are Shulk and Rex alive, but everybody else from their games isn't? Why is Riku here? And why did he never mention anything about this? If Shulk negotiated with Zed, why did he not demand Zed release Melia? Does he just not know Zed forced her into stasis? Where was the Shulk, Rex, and A avatar in Xenoblade 3? Are we just supposed to be like, oh, they were off somewhere? If this DLC story was being outlined at the same time as Xenoblade 3, there should be something that we can look at and go, oh, that's the avatar. There's a fan theory that adults who entered into the Endless Now don't age, but it's just a fan theory, and also raises the question of why everybody else is gone. Did Fiora, Dunban, and Zeke just get killed by Mobius? All they needed was a passing line of dialogue. By the point of Future Redeemed, Shulk is at least 90. This is absolutely something that needed to be explained. One thing that isn't a plot hole or unresolved, but is resolved so ambiguously I had to look it up and rewatch cutscenes, is the inconsistency of Alvis's behavior, and the absence of Pyra and Mithra. Origin is powered by the Trinity processor, so Alvis, Pyra, and Mithra all return to their cores, and when Zed formed, he awakened Alvis, taining him in a similar way to Amalthus taining Malos. And because one of the girls was sitting in for Malos, and he was not awoken by a single entity with any doubts, there were no protections for Alvis. And that's why he is like he is, and why A split off of him. Then these core crystals scattered. There are other things that stretched my suspension of disbelief, like the city relocating somewhere beside Colony 9 that isn't Sword March, or N's rubber band character development, which kind of actually works, but wasn't set up, so I don't think it was intentional. The breakthrough Matthew had with him, before he reverted back, could be the bit of regret necessary for Xenoblade 3 Noah to form. All it took was another line of dialogue to show this was intentional, and not just coincidentally fitting subtext. And Xeno games are usually extremely good about setting things up and polishing their story. So this sloppy story is really frustrating. But let's get into the implications for the future of Xenoblade, since this was supposed to hint at the future of the story. Most of this DLC has no implications aside from N's regret, and the possibility some rules could not apply to certain characters. Everything we know about how the Endless Now works, Alvis should be alive again, and A should still be part of him, unless Monolith Soft decides the rules don't apply to him and he stays dead, or more likely, his memories exist outside and he remembers everything he and she did and experienced. Rex and Shulk should also be alive again, and whole. They even say as much. However, after the credits, we see the universes re-separated, and then they join again. So it looks like Noah did find Mio again, and the other pairs probably found each other too. It looks like going forward we'll have just one world, and the story may revolve around whatever that falling star was. Maybe it was the White Whale or Kos-Mos. Probably not, but Xenoblade 4 may reuse some elements from Xenosaga. I mean, there was another version of Dmitry Yuriev before Klaus's experiment. It definitely was not the Xenosaga universe, though, unless Yuriev is a whole heck of a lot older than we thought. There's no way he could be on Earth and live until Earth is long lost. We could see other planets humans had colonized, though, if Klaus's experiment only cut a portion of the universe in half around Earth, and didn't have or destroy the whole universe. Another possibility would be to see the new world Alice created in the instance he was not stopped. The way time works, that happened in a sense, so there could be implications from the hypothetical alternate course of events. If I had to bet, probably just the single reunified universe though, but I hope we get X2 before Xenoblade 4. Anyway, subscribe and share and tell me if I'm forgetting an obvious avatar in Xenoblade 3. It's not the souped up sword of the end Noah unlocks, is it?